Alright everyone, welcome back. Version 6.4 banners are finally confirmed, and this update is bringing 4 important characters, 1 brand new release, and 3 reruns. We're getting Varka, Flins, Escoffier, and Skirk, and in this video I'm going to give you a clear and honest breakdown so you can decide who is actually worth pulling for your account based on team value, endgame usefulness, and overall pull efficiency. I'm not going to hype anything blindly, just practical information so you don't waste your pulls. Before we move on to the topic, as we reached 3K subscribers, we are giving away 5 welkin moons giveaway in this video. 2 of 5 welkin moons will be given to old members who are with us from start, and 3 welkin moons will be given randomly. Also, one person cannot win 2 welkin moons. To participate, you have to do same thing, like and hype this video, leave a comment, and you must be subscriber of our channel. Results will be announced next week. So good luck everyone. So first, let's talk about the new character, Varka. He is a 5-star Claymore user and his kit is actually very simple to understand. When you use his elemental skill, he gains elemental infusion damage depending on your team setup, which means he can deal pyro, electro, hydro, or cryo-related damage based on who you run with him. His raw claymore damage is not the main focus. The elemental infusion portion is where most of his output comes from. The issue starts with his passive. To fully increase his damage potential, you need to run specific Hexale-type characters, and right now the available options are very limited. Characters like Mona, Venti, Albedo, Klee, Sucrose, and Razor technically work, but realistically only a couple of them actually give strong synergy. That means team flexibility is low. On top of that, because he is a Claymore user, his gameplay feels slower compared to modern fast DPS characters. His passive also pushes you toward double element setups like double electro, double cryo, or double pyro, which further restricts your team building. His ultimate does 2 separate hits, 1 anemo damage and 1 elemental damage, but the problem is that his burst doesn't get enough support from his own kit, so compared to current meta DPS characters his overall value feels lower. Theory crafters have already pointed out that his scaling and performance are not very impressive in high-end situations. So the honest conclusion is simple: pull Varka only if you like the character or already have the exact teammates he wants. Otherwise, from a meta and endgame perspective, he is not a priority and probably not worth spending your resources on. Now, let's move to Flins, because this is where things get more interesting. Flins is a polearm user focused on lunar charge damage, and compared to his earlier release, he has become much stronger now because newer supports have improved his overall team damage. With characters like Columbina and other lunar-related supports, his teams now perform significantly better than before, making him a very solid DPS option. If you are thinking about account progression, ideally you want at least 2 reliable reaction teams, whether that is Lunar Charge, Lunar Bloom, or similar variations. If you already own strong units like Colomina and Anifa, then skipping Flins will not destroy your account because you already have workable options. But if you are missing damage consistency or strong lunar reactions, Flins becomes a very good investment. He is easy to build, works even with free-to-play weapons, and does not demand extremely high stats to perform well. Now regarding weapon versus constellation, if you do not have a good 5-star critical rate or critical damage weapon, then his signature weapon is extremely valuable because it boosts performance noticeably. But if you already own alternatives like Primordial Jade Spear or Homa, then going for C1 makes more sense since it improves energy management, smoothens rotations, and allows more consistent mini-burst usage during combat. Overall, Flins has very strong pull value if you want to strengthen lunar teams or improve your account's overall damage options. Now let's talk about Skirk, because a lot of players misunderstand this character. Skirk is a very strong cryo DPS, but only inside freeze teams. That's the important part. Inside freeze compositions, she performs extremely well and feels powerful, but outside freeze, she loses a lot of value. Her performance is heavily tied to one specific support, Escoffier. That is exactly why both characters are appearing together in this patch. If you already own one of them and are missing the other, this banner is basically your chance to complete the team. You can technically replace some teammates with alternatives like Xingqiu, Barbara, Kazuha, or Shinha, but you will notice clear damage loss compared to the ideal setup. So before pulling Skirk, understand this clearly: she is not flexible, and she is not designed for multiple reactions. She is built for freeze and freeze only. If you don't enjoy that playstyle, or don't plan to commit to it, then she is not a smart pull. Now talking about Escoffier, this character actually has higher long-term pull value than Skirk in many situations. The reason is simple. While she works perfectly in freeze teams, she can also support other Hydro and Cryo DPS characters, which makes her more future-proof. Skirk needs Escoffier to reach her full potential, but Escoffier doesn't fully depend on Skirk. That alone increases her value for account building. So if you have to choose only one and you care about flexibility, Escoffier is usually the smarter investment. But if your goal is a complete and powerful freeze team, then pulling both together is the best choice. Now quickly about Skirk weapon versus constellation, because many players ask this question. In most cases, the weapon gives better immediate value. It provides strong base attack, solid critical stats, and overall improves both skill and burst performance. Her C1 adds extra cryo damage when consuming Void Drift stacks, around 500% attack scaling, but those stacks only generate every 2.5 seconds, which means the damage increase is steady but not explosive. So unless you are heavily investing into the character, the weapon is usually the better upgrade. So let's simplify the final recommendations. If you want a strong lunar or electro-focused DPS, Flins should be your #1 priority. If your lunar teams are already complete, then you can skip him safely. If you want to build a freeze team, pull Escoffier and Skirk together, because that combination is what unlocks their real power. Never pull Skirk alone without Escoffier, because her value drops too much. Same logic applies to Flins. Without proper supports like Columbina or Anifa, you won't get the full results even though he is still usable. And as for Varka, only pull if you genuinely like the character, because from a pure performance perspective, he is not a must-have unit right now. That's my full breakdown based on practical experience and overall account value. At the end of the day, your pulls are your choice, but at least now you know where the real value lies, so you can avoid wasting resources. If this helped you make a clearer decision, make sure to like and subscribe so I can keep bringing more honest and detailed analysis like this. Also make sure to participate in giveaway. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.